Hey guys, William Murfitt here, and in today's video we're going to be fitting the cylinder head back to this prepped engine. So in the previous episode we stripped down the cylinder head, we've rebuilt the cylinder head, we've given the head a coat of paint, we've also given the block a coat of paint, and we've removed some of the ancillaries. It's now ready to be built back up, and the first thing I'm going to do whilst I'm waiting for various parts to arrive is to fit the head back onto the block. So I'll bring it a bit closer in so you can see what's been done, and hopefully we can then make it a clean sailing process to get this back together. So the block itself's been painted, and I have cleaned up the top of the block and all of the tops of the pistons. I've measured it with a straight edge and it is all relatively flat, which is fantastic because it means I haven't got to get it skimmed. So I'm going to put a gasket on here, I'm going to refit the studs. So I'm going to have 4 of the front studs have come out, so that's here, here, here and here. Once they're back in, the gasket can go on, the head can get pushed on, and then we can bolt it up. I'm just going to go around and just remove some of this paint that's sort of excess to make sure that the gasket isn't pushed up in any area, especially around here where you've got an oil feed coming from the bottom to the top, because anything that's going to get in the way will potentially leak. Whilst I'm at it as well, I'm going to make sure that the surface of the head is cleaned up. You see along the top here there's a bit of paint, and across here as well. But overall, the finish on this I am super happy with. So I'm just going to put it up onto its end, give it a light sanding, and then we can start to get this ready for fitting.
Back from the dead.
Okay, so that's all the paint now off the surface of the cylinder head. I just used a light sanding of sandpaper. I'm ready now to start fitting back these studs.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
We're back from the dead.
Right, so I've got my head gasket kit. I have got a copper 998 cylinder head, and it gives you a handy little guide of how it's fitted. So you've got the rounded edges at the front and then the cut edges at the back. And there's also an oil seal to fit. So I'll fit this over the top of the holes. Fits rather nicely. And then in this little bag here is a tiny little oil seal, if you can see it there. And that says to fit at that top right, where that oil feed comes up. So that just fits nicely into that little hole. I guess now we put the head on. I've noticed though that one of these studs are a lot longer on the front. So I'm going to swap them around, this one here to here because this holds onto the coil, so the longer stud gets that extra bit of leniency.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
So you can just see all of the holes aligned, and then this back one here is where the rubber oil seal fits. So, only thing left to do now, fit this cylinder head. Next up, we can reinstall these push rods, and they're about as easy to reinstall as they are to take out. That's done. Right, next up to install is the rocker shaft. So the only thing I need to make sure is here is the balls on the bottom of the shaft sit into the cups. And I have the 4 bolts that hold these together. I've got 2 longer ones and 2 shorter ones. So the shorter bolts go into the middle and they just hold the rocker cover or the rocker shaft onto the head. The longer ones, however, screw down into the cylinder head and they poke up, so when you put the rocker cover on, these holes are what you tighten up the rocker cover with. I've got my locking tab that goes on this one. That holds that in place.
We're back from the dead.
Are you ready?
Now the head's bolted down, it's time to now torque the head studs down to the correct setting. So when tightening cylinder head bolts, you have to go in a circular motion. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to start off with going 20 foot-pounds.
Back from the dead.
So that's the cylinder head now bolted down. I'm going to leave that for now and then work on a few other jobs. So I'm going to put the rocker cover over the top to try and keep out any dirt and grime going in the engine. But we are cooking on gas.
Back from the dead. Back from the dead.